Hello, welcome to Group 4's analysis of the Aldi Wal-Mart case. Group members are Matt Miller, Dan Noble, Tyler Olson, Jason Pine, Jason Smith, and Joshua Womack. These are our observations, and we'll end with some recommendations.
At Aldi's, the customer is not king. Aldi's focus is not established upon customer service, rather on mass production. Aldi's has established itself upon a market niche of budget shoppers wherein they offer or provide low-cost private label goods and pass discounts on to the customers. Their strategy focuses on mass production, as I mentioned, and low-cost inventory items that has been established or connected to strong customers, strong supplier relationships.
In general, Walmart and Aldi serve different purposes, so comparing them is comparing apples to oranges. Aldi is a grocery store first and foremost, and that's the end of their market position, whereas Walmart added their grocery division as an afterthought. They introduced the Supercenter in the late 1980s, so they've only had groceries for about 30 years, using that to attract people in to purchase their low-margin groceries, but then also turn them, while they're within the store, to buy the higher-margin household goods and make their profit that way. If either company needs to be worried about the other, Walmart should be worried about Aldi's, because Aldi's focuses on being a grocery store first, and they already have well-established relationships with suppliers, and they're a low-cost provider. Walmart is an everyday low-price store, but Aldi's, on top of being an everyday low-price provider, runs special buys and different advertising campaigns that are subtle, but they attract people in, and they could use that to pull market share away from Walmart.
All right. As we talked about their strategy and talked about whether it was easy to replicate, we came to the conclusion that as a whole, Aldi's strategy is really quite simple, and theoretically it's easy to duplicate. It's easy for a company to go in and say, we're going to be cost effective, keep expenses low, offer a limited selection of items. And even though it's easy to say that, it's a lot harder to do and maintain that. For instance, when Aldi went to the UK, their number one competitor was QuickSave, and QuickSave said they were going to open up 100 stores, they were going to match prices, and they hit that pretty aggressively. But after a few years, they went bankrupt. And part of the reason it's hard to maintain that strategy is because Aldi, as a company, they have a discipline and a frugality that is part of their culture. It's part of their core. It's something they started with, and they're not just trying to use as a strategy, but it's simply who they are.
As far as store placement goes, we had a couple different viewpoints. One viewpoint from our discussion was that it might be better for Aldi to locate physically distant from Walmart, and that physical distance would present also a psychological distance, creating like an independence from Walmart and establishing its own customers without really having to compete too much with Walmart, since it's such a powerhouse in the United States. Alternatively, the other strategy was that it could place itself near Walmart where it's more convenient or accessible to the customer, like near freeway exits or whatnot, closer than Walmart is. And that way they might be able to poach Walmart grocery customers. And this would impact Walmart more than Aldi, because Walmart really relies on those grocery customers to go in buying groceries and also purchasing other product. But as the article mentions, Walmart is trying to do smaller stores, to go into smaller markets, which would really make it difficult for Aldi to kind of present that strategy.
Finally, understanding that Aldi does intend to expand aggressively within the U.S. market, we have a few final recommendations. The first, owing to legendary ABC college football announcer Keith Jackson, we urge Aldi to dance with who brung you. In other words, to maintain the rigid culture that they've established that's earned them great success thus far, to continue with great frugality, their private labels, these small non-premium store locations, et cetera, et cetera. Even as they seek to open new stores at an aggressive pace and to introduce new products such as organic food. They need to do this within the existing strategy so that they can continue to see great success as part of their market expansion.